Hey everybody, welcome back to No Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some more Jobless Reincarnation. We got a whole bunch of comments here, so let's go over those first. We
And
got
this
Guy
time we're
Valentine.
actually recording the intro. So, trying this
That's
new
right.
thing.
Full intro, full comments. Let's see what we got. Guy Valentine for the Patreon says returning point 2. Like he says in the episode where he runs a Daisha, it's Rudeus himself who decided to not tell anyone about the man god. In the light novel, when he's talking to the man god, Rudeus explains in his head that telling Orsted about the man god was a sudden reaction to finally having someone to talk about this mysterious figure with after 2 years of having to keep it to himself. He felt relieved and excited. That's why he carelessly admitted that to Orsted with a smile on his face. I guess if you have sudden, real physical proof that you aren't crazy and it's not all in your head, it's like, yeah, no, you're kind of ready to talk about it, right?
You watched The Good Place, right?
Yeah, I think I watched a majority of it, but not like the final parts of it.
You at least got to God, what's his name? The ethics professor,
Chidi?
Chidi, back in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, they get sent back to Earth to see if they would change what they do or something.
Right, and then you meet the woman he falls for. The part after she dies.
Uh, I don't remember that, so I think maybe I didn't watch that part.
Because she does this whole rigmarole of, well, I guess it's all made up by my mind and it's death throes. She doesn't accept the afterlife at all. So she doesn't buy into the ethics of anything because she thinks her mind is just like
Hmm.
slowly dying and making up shit for her to see.
Yeah.
So in your whole I'm not crazy bit from the comment, it's just like,
Hmm.
how would you know, right? How
Yeah.
would you know that you didn't get hit by a car and all of this? You never saw the Odyssey either, did you?
Um.
The Canadian television show, Ryan Reynolds' first acting job.
Oh no, definitely not then.
Literally, a kid falls out of a treehouse, goes into a coma, and we go back and forth from being people like talking to him in like a hospital bed, and him going on adventures in a world only filled with kids,
Hmm.
and that's the Odyssey part of it, and that he is just you know, the bullies are a sect, the nerds are a sect. Ryan Reynolds is like this military dictator because it's a like young teenage version of him because it's his
Hmm.
first acting career. The idea that you can get knocked out or be near death and just make up a world in your mind is
Yeah,
not a new concept.
I remember a comic from not too long ago, Earthworld, that like had to like suddenly end, but like in the middle of it, like the main character's been isekai'd to a world, and he hears like, oh yeah, King Saline the Fourth, and he's like, Saline IV. It's like, okay, no, I have to be unconscious in a hospital. I wouldn't just. Why am I imagining this unless someone's saying it over my coma body, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean that is pretty funny because at the same time you could easily just misread that somebody is just named Saline and they are the fourth. You
Yeah.
know, I,
The more
I
it went on, the more it was like, okay, this is probably actually real, but
yeah, you wouldn't want to
it is just
risk
like
the
one of those
entire
funny notes.
thing.
If you're in a world that's entirely designed to make you feel comfortable, of course you're going to be suspicious about it, right? But instead,
It's that
Rudeus is
it's
here. It
that
just
Star
has
Trek.
weird dreams every now and
It's
then.
that Star Trek thing, right, where the kid has Riker captured on a planet, but he
Yeah.
but he has like Riker knocked out, so he wakes him up in a holodeck, and it's like, okay, well, Riker found his way out of this one, so I'll Inception him holodeck style, and it's like, okay, well, Data's using contractions, and he can't talk very fast, and like he's picking apart everything around him to
Yeah, it's
constantly
like these
figure out.
details about my friends that I know better than you aren't happening correctly. This is all fake.
Yeah.
It was actually a great reveal. I love the way they did that. He just like starts going crazy on him.
Well, it's shorted all over YouTube of telling Picard to shut up. You know?
Yeah. So, continuing on to crazy people, the War on Reactors says from episode Separate Journeys, the ending changed back in episode 12, but the images are the same from episode to episode. The horse guy is the same one, same name, no Kapara. Nokapara sets up Roxy's telepathy problem at the end when they are talking, though the reactors miss it because they are talking about him. The second Planet of the Apes movie, 1970, had a similar way of showing telepathy, mainly the same sound part. You know what? That's kind of cool to just, kind of reference fun sci-fi stuff, take things around.
I think you literally said the exact same thing when the part that we didn't record the last time we read
Exactly.
this
I'm trying to
comic.
repeat my thoughts. I think it's cute to go ahead and reference other media and bring over little things. And if you've seen the other thing, it helps you understand more. Instead to us, we were confused for half the episode. Like, wait a second, why are they being attacked by
My
stars?
sad bit is that I remember that I got into a pretty cool conversation about the
Mhm.
Planet of the Apes franchise because you hadn't seen it, and now I have no cool way to segue over to my favorite being the last Planet of the Apes movie, not the recent ones
Yeah,
of that generation that they're talking about,
yeah.
where it's in a middle part where there's still humans across the planet that can talk, driving around in trucks, but it's like also post-apocalypse. So
Hmm.
there's like nothing left of human civilization. And was it Doctor Savius? Doctor the red ape guy
Yeah,
who
yeah.
like knows that humans were here first and is like hiding the Statue of Liberty and the the human doll that talks. He's
Right. It's like, why would an ape make
Yeah,
this?
he gets into one of the human underground bunkers and actually sees a recording of like human history. So
Hmm.
it just goes to show that he knows a lot more than he actually ever put on in the first movie.
I guess here's a fun thought. How do you know that your fantasy setting isn't a post-apocalypse of the future or something?
That's the
What if all the demons are just mutants?
well, that's what that's what's the mutation one? Uh, we did a couple of test runs of it, and I never got anyone past the first areas. Um,
Uh,
but that's something
yeah,
that I
yeah.
always I've tried to do. Like, your god is actually just a spaceship in orbit
Hmm.
with no surviving crew from like the colony era when they settled
Yeah.
the planet, and it just talks to you and can see everything, and all your magic is actually just technology that's left behind. So like
Hmm.
a blaster pistol or something like that. I always wanted to do something like that. There's like the 70s or
It's
80s
difficult.
there's that 70s or 80s cartoon. Like, it's not Kroll. That's the name of that. That's a movie. Cole? Something. No, Thundar the Barbarian, and there's another one where they literally open the show up with, in the 90s, disaster wrecked the planet. And then you just have a atypical barbarian princess and like mutated Chewbacca looking dude wandering
Yeah.
around in the background. It's just skyscraper wreckage and high technology sorcery sort of shit.
Hmm.
I love that shit. I love that
Yeah.
more than I love fantasy.
So go ahead and keep that in mind for our next possible series. Let's go ahead and watch one of those. But Kevin Cawthon says from the Patreon on Dreams and Reality. Regarding the pre-show talk, if my memory is correct, the demon girl, Earl Kirishima, introduced herself as the Great Demon Emperor of the Demon World, whereas Laplace, who has been referred to as the Demon God Laplace. I'm an anime-only scrub, so I suppose they could be the same person, but I think that may be a stretch. By the way, your theories are wild. I'm loving it, lol. After show talk correction, it was mentioned via a time skip that the mana ball in the sky shows up for 3 months, three, I think, before it exploded, not just a day. So Saros knew about it for quite some time. This episode and the next are some of the main reasons I think this show has top tier writing. In my opinion, the author's great at writing believable emotional scenes. Oh, and trauma. He's definitely good at writing trauma. The animation studio nails these scenes too. I agree with Griffin that the sex scene was tastefully done. If you think back to all the lewd scenes, they were all appropriately portrayed for the message vibe the author wanted to get across. The two good examples of this are the Paul and Zenith scene in episode 2, I think. In this scene, the parents are obviously going at it hard, but we only see Paul from the waist up and Zenith from the chest up. The camera makes it explicit that what we're doing is without actually showing anything more than it had to, because the intent of the scene was to let the viewer know that Rudy is quite obviously aware of what his parents are were doing during the nights. To set up that they, especially Paul, has a very active sex drive, not just to show gratuitous sex. The Eris and Rudy bedroom scene in episode 8, although Rudy doesn't go any further than light petting, the camera shots are mostly focused on what Rudy's hand is doing and Eris's uncomfortable reactions. This scene makes us uncomfortable because the viewer is supposed to feel uncomfortable during it. We're supposed to not like what Rudy is doing and know that Rudy is crossing a line he shouldn't be crossing here. Now we look at this current Eris and Rudy scene where they actually go all the way. The viewer doesn't need to see or anything or have it actually implied nudity past a shot or two of Eris's lightly clothed chest, because that's all the viewer needs to know, that Rudy is turned on before Eris finally pushes him down and says the magic words. After that, aside from flashbacks of their life together, we only see them kiss and lock fingers, and that's all the viewer needs to see in this scene to know that this wasn't just raw sex, but a very intimate moment between the two. Too long didn't read. People who see the early lewd scenes and just write them off as, oh, it's just anime being lewd to get the viewers horny, are missing so much subtle context.
I've
Beta, what are your thoughts?
I've brought up on the screen. I think I only brought this up during our unrecorded bit, so I'm bringing it up again, where I brought up Nick Fury's comics code version of a sex scene.
Oh, yeah?
Where he is seducing another agent, and instead of showing the sex scene, it's just one panel at the very end of his holster laid over a chair or something, with an oversized pistol in the holster, indicating to you what's going on while showing nothing. Which is what I was likening it to before, I think, when we did this the first time.
It's the perfect visual metaphor for Nick Fury is packing, just as a straight statement, right? But yeah, no, I think I actually agree with this comment. I think Kelvin is onto something. The way that they portrayed the previous stuff is maybe more tactful than it seems now that we see it like in retrospect, because it was supposed to make us feel that way so we can get towards the things we want to and maybe away from the things that Rudy should not be doing, right?
Well, also that Sarius is culpable in his own death.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guess the real question is, what could he have done?
Ordered a general evacuation, warned people in higher positions than him, and asked what they would do. Magic is a thing in this world, and there's people that know magic. So, considering that if you don't know what to do, you can reference other people.
Yeah.
And the end all of it is that he did nothing. So.
And I guess the final bit here is just like, is Kirishima Laplace, and I think while we have like two big demon names to keep track of here, I think I'm increasingly convinced they're not actually the same person then. Like, I thought initially maybe, but I guess, I suppose maybe not. It would make less sense for Kirishima to be this Laplace character who wants to inflict misery on everyone for their own gain, as compared to Kirishima, who seems like they're just excited to hang out with people for free.
Here's my thing, Griff. Your response is not interesting. You know why it's not interesting? Because you're flip-flopping. You said it could be, but it couldn't be. Or it might not be, so I don't know. I'm just saying, fuck it, they are. And I'm not saying that because I heavily believe it. I'm saying that to take a fucking side, Griff.
There you go. Well, I mean, you know me. I don't ever decide on anything.
And I often don't care when I'm wrong, so.
The Drunk Crusader from our Patreon, from the episode Wake Up and Take a Step, says, just a quick explanation of the whole Erithus leaving his house before he was hit by the truck in episode 1.
The I ruined everything comment. Got it.
Yeah. Earthius was kicked out of his home by his siblings and thus left his room unintentionally and holding on to all the regret and trauma he'd experienced over the past 20 years of being a shut-in. I'd only been homeless for about 3 hours. Before that, I'd been the classic stereotypical long-time shut-in who doesn't do anything with his life. And then, all of a sudden, my parents died. Being the shut-in that I was, I obviously didn't attend the funeral or the family gathering thereafter. It was quite the scene when they kicked me out of my house afterwards. Light Novel 1, page 11. He was the same leech he had been for the last 20 years of his life, abusing his parents' goodwill up until they, and he, a few days later, died. This time, rudeus leaves his tent on his own initiative, believing there are still people out there that need him and that he promised Paul that he would look and reunite his family. Sorry if this information is redundant or may have missed your point in the video. Great video, by the way. Sorry to hear about your pre-video discussion being lost. Keep up the good work and can't wait for the OVA in Season 2. Well, that's what we're here for today. We're covering those comments, and we're definitely covering yours.
Oh, well, I apologize, and this isn't the "you ruined it all" comment. That one's coming up, I assume. But
well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, no. Well, I appreciate that you referenced the light novel at least, which isn't something we would have known. The light novel. My only defense for not remembering it right would be 20-something episodes ago.
Yeah.
And we've kind of had a lot to like take in and build up over time. And all I remember is that every flashback that we've gotten about how his home life was, and I just kind of assumed that he was out and about on the streets on his own.
I guess at the time we were thinking that maybe the mafia was involved or the Yakuza because of the way he got kicked out. But I guess it's just like family, his siblings were just being aggressive is all. It's like, okay, that probably makes way more sense in context, honestly, especially now that we have more of the backstory.
Well, one, I don't remember thinking that, but also two, it's only just now coming back to me that he actually did get kicked out. I recognize the two comments or one comment now and one coming up are going to point out that he got kicked out. But it feels like it's like the beginning of the first episode, and I don't recall them ever flashing back to him getting kicked out again. It just kind of happens, and then we move forwards with the story. So it's kind of like just trying to figure out what's happening. Okay, and now we're being isekai'd. And now we're doing character development, and let's figure out the world building, character development, the interactions between all the characters. Oh, we spent 3 episodes here, now we're moving here. 3 episodes here, now we're moving here. It's been a roller coaster ride of story, emotions, character development. So I don't think I can really be blamed. Of course, I'm saying this myself for not remembering the first 3 to 4 minutes of the first episode. Here,
I do like the discussion on the metaphor, though, here, which is like the comparison between then and now that we like remember it. Thanks, Drunk Crusader. Which is, of course, like his initial first step forward was a forced one. He had nothing left to go to. He had literally been kicked out, quote, homeless for 3 hours, right? He's already miserable. But here, he's self-motivated. He remembers everything. He does it on his own. He's actually made progress in his life. He has become a better person now at the end of our season. So the other world has been doing its job. It has been healing all the wounds that rudeus has and making his life better.
I mean, I think it's great message for an isekai. It's not horrible message for real life, though. As because
you should get up and take care of things.
No, more like
other people care about you and rely on you. That's
not the real life message either. The real life message is an Ozzy song called Suicide Solution. Because in real life, if the isekai part didn't exist, he's just dead. That's the fantasy of this, is that you become a better person in another world. All the opportunities that he had, life is a one-time gamble, man. If he wrote it out to the end, he wrote it out to getting hit by a car. That's the real story. Dude hit by a car at crosswalk. This is the isekai fantasy where he got a second chance.
But the thing that we're learning here is that he could have gotten up and made that first step in his original life and probably been on a better path if he had those experiences.
That's why I said life is a one-time gamble. He didn't, and by the time that he was forced to, it was all too late. So it's the second chance that he got that doesn't exist in reality.
Well, while we're waiting on TruckCon, we got one more comment here from JP Stahl from the episode Reunion, who says, not sure if anyone in your Discord explained it yet, but the 2 girls with Paul do have more backstory in the novels. Basically, they were sisters who were victims of the lightning and were abducted and censored word after the incident. They were rescued by Paul, but the one in the skimpy outfit was able to recover mentally, but the one in the robes wasn't. The girl in the bikini armor dresses that way in order to draw men's eyes away from her sister onto her. She wears normal clothes in private. Oh, that is some dark backstory right there.
I mean, I didn't have it explained to me, but I do know that they're sisters. That's why if you look at the concept board, I'm not asking you to right now, Griff. I'm actually
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at it on the overlay. That's why they get the blue relationship line between them.
Mm-hmm. So, any further thoughts on these two sisters, their relationship and presentation?
I mean, I don't have that mindset, so I can't really comment on it. I've never been put in that experience. I'm pointing down to fingers like you can't see. I've never been
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
experience. I don't want to. Um, I don't have a brother or sister. There's so many factors here that separate me from being able to give valid commentary that it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem worthwhile to even engage in. You've heard me say some pretty heinous shit on these things here, but this is like
Mm-hmm.
so far separated from my ability to find stable footing that it doesn't
I
seem worthwhile.
Yeah. I only got two small things to say, which is the first is like, okay, as a relation, that makes sense. This is now a protective thing. We now have an explanation for why it is, and it kind of checks out. It makes sense. On the other hand, it sounds a bit like Metal Gear. It's like, oh, she has to wear skimpy clothing in order to have her skin breathe or something. It's like, maybe we just made it up so we could have the skimpy outfit.
See, you're doing the thing that
Eh,
I didn't want to do, Griff. And I'm not saying I don't want to do it because it's wrong or it's right or anything. You're
yeah.
criticizing a victim. And I don't know that that's
But
the
they are a
position.
fictional character someone intended to write.
Sure.
That is the ultimate perspective to have.
But
Someone chose to
do
write
you
it.
know that
They aren't a
do you
victim,
know if
they're a
they
character.
chose to write that because of inspiration of a real person, or you don't know where it comes from, is my point.
Mhm.
So I don't feel like, criticizing a victim. I mean, I don't know where you're coming from in this, so I'm not trying to like demean what you've said either. That's why I said I can't find a solid footing to make
Mhm.
commentary, and I don't feel like there's any value added to anything I could possibly say.
So, speaking of value adds, Theta, what are we actually watching here today? Because we finished up with the season, and I believe this is an OVA. What do we know about it? What is
I'm
this?
glad you answered most of the questions yourself inside of your own question.
Well, give me a little bit more to go on because I don't know where this fits. What are we about to see? Where does this take place? What is this?
Oh god, the problem here is that we watch so many anime that there's something like in the middle of each one. Now that I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if I'm talking right or not, this might be episode 17.5 or 16.5.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something happens where Eris is off by herself doing things or doing things with somebody else while Rudy is doing his own thing at a different
Okay.
location. My problem again is I can't say which episode it is. I can't really remember, and I'm now remembering the whole Doan's Island thing for Gundam. It was an episode 15 thing, and there's another thing coming up with another show. I think it's a Jujutsu Kaisen thing, where there's a
Okay.
missing middle episode we had to do. Plus, we're doing after this a season 2 episode 0, which is also kind of like this.
We
Ah,
got a lot of stuff going on here, don't
I've
we? But
got
at least
a folder full of notepads all
Mhm.
about specific stuff about each thing, and I still
Okay.
sometimes forget or don't write down or have to wander over to our
Mhm.
Patreon part of our Discord to be reminded about stuff.
Okay. But so we're winding back the clock a little bit. We're probably going to get time with Eris. That's okay. I think I can mentally prepare for that. I don't know what that means in terms of what we're going to get because I feel like the finale we got like had a lot of Eris like trying to come into her own. So is this just like a preview to that moment then, or how are we going to contextualize this? I think that's what I'm going to be thinking about while we go in.
I would argue that
Uh,
the finale didn't have a lot of Eris coming into her own. It had a lot of Eris talking to Grislane, who may or may not have been paying attention, and then
well,
shouting
yeah, it's
things into
Ghislaine,
the
you know.
wild and that just being confirmation of stuff we either hoped for or knew already.
Yeah. So, I guess then with that, how about we go ahead and watch and see what we get from Eris then? But in the meanwhile, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as early access stuff, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below, join the Discord, let me know about any like OVAs or shit that I should be paying attention or on the lookout for.
Ominous chanting, good
Couldn't read
start.
that. Gonna assume rudeus.
Oh. That's a little brutal.
Okay, not rudeus, somebody else.
I guess the shadow play is at least an interesting style here.
I was just thinking this is that game. That one game where you're a shadow boy running across the side.
Limbo is that one,
Do you think maybe Paul? Not Paul. Who's the brother? Not the brother, the other guy who Eris' dad.
I forgot the name.
I don't know, this is clearly a religious thing. Who do we know that this could fit?
So it's someone who's becoming a wizard. Oh, that smirk.
I wish we did know what this is about, because my first thought would be, what if this guy dies and gets isekai back to our world?
Oh gosh, what a reversal.
Sad person in their world with magical powers isekai'd into boring reality. I'm gonna miss the long hair.
Yeah, I guess the hair does also help us date things too now, doesn't it? Oh, that does look good though. I want that cheese.
You had pancakes for breakfast.
I want more food. Ah, yes, a true sword for Eris. Give her the Buster Blade.
I can't read the language.
Did they have like 5 franchise shops here? Dude, rude. You can't just push him.
Well, you can if you wouldn't leave the establishment. I mean, if I own the place and I tell you to get out.
Oh,
Get
okay,
the
okay,
fuck
I
out.
get it now. Those are all anti-orcs signs. That's why everyone has one.
Demons. I mean, they're not like spurred or anything.
Here we go, repressing people. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The demon continent is full of these people. That's why it's the demon continent. You don't actually have to be a demon. You're just grouped.
Yeah, any of these people. But where are we?
I was about to say, does Eris get a speaking line in this movie?
Yeah, I thought we were just gonna go with the whole silent episode for a little bit.
達した数だけ持って帰ってきてくださいね。わかったわ。
なんで僕がパーティーに入れないんだ。
Alright, this is the guy.
Also, goblin hunting can be so weird in this world, though.
Right, everyone is clearly like a sentient other person, right?
Seemingly.
Unless Goblin is like some tiny monster here.
剣しか触れない脳なしども。この僕がわざわざ助けてやろうって言ってるんだ。
このクソガキ、そこまで大口叩いたんだ。
Are we gonna team up with like the polar opposite of Rudeus?
Oh gosh, we sure are. But at the same time, like, we've seen the episode of what happens when you send in unprepared adventurers.
いつからここはガキのおもり所になったんだ。行くぞお前ら。
危ないところだったわね。
誰が助けてくれなん
You
て言っ
took
たん
my
だよ。
agency away from me.
あのくらい僕の魔術で
Then the Twitch Eris is gonna slap his shit.
勝手に解決するなよ。ブス。
That was a bit much.
Eris is actually holding it all in. Oh, no, there it is.
I think he's a He likes to get hurt. Because he started smiling again when he saw she was angry and about to hit him.
We gotta get a read on this kid, because I don't want to leave it on just that.
Because it seemed like he was picking a fight with the other guys because he wanted to, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, what's the game plan?
待ってください。先ほどはすみませんでした。ちょっと気が動転していて。僕はクリフです。クリフ・グリモル。
Heath Cliff.
エリスよ。
エリスさん、すごくいい名前ですね。その格好、剣士なんですよね。先ほどのパンチしびれました。ぜひとも僕とパーティーを組んでください。
I think
He's
I'm
attacking
right.
for paying, like, gosh. He just loves a girl who could just literally kill him right now.
せめて後ろから援護させてください。僕も巷では賢者の卵と言われています。必ず役に立ちます。
ルーデウスよりすごい魔術師なんていないわ。
エリスさんも僕ほどの魔術師は見たことがないと思いますよ。何せそんじょそこらの A ランク魔術師より上ですからね。
Then do it. Just do it. Prove it.
Bring down the thunderstorm that destroys the whole city, dude. Come on.
わかったわ。そこまで言うならついてきなさい。
はい。
And get killed by the goblins or be used as bait.
Oh, absolutely. Alright, what's our read on goblins?
They're wearing clothes and using tools. Not a good sign already.
Yeah, yeah. They're expert fighters and they're keeping up with Eris.
地獄にうごめく黒の落とし子よ。
They're not using words,
今こそ大
though.
地に這い上がり、拳を振り上げよ。御敵を叩き潰し、燃やし尽くし、食らい尽くし、黒に染めよ。
Alright, this is some kind of brutal incantations.
エクゾダスフレイム。
She needs to collect the ears. He's gonna destroy everything.
Yeah, you read it right.
Also, he's like that Konosuba mage.
Okay, they are still in one piece. Alright, not that much One Piece.
どうですか。すごいもんでしょ。そこらの魔術師ではこうはいきませんよ。
そう。全
I don't know, Rudy's
すごくない
good.
わ。
エリスさんは魔術のことをよく知らないようですね。いいですか。魔術というのは
Also, Rudeus could have done it faster.
あ
He's re-explaining the plot to us.
波の努力で身につくでしょう。しかし今のエグゾダスフレームは上級炎魔術です。大人の魔術師でも一握りのものしか出せません。そう、大人の魔術師でも。
I mean, to be fair to him, he is probably super accelerated for this world.
Yeah, I think that's valid to say. Like, the kid isn't completely full of himself.
I mean, I believe what he's saying about, like, most adults can't do this. However, we haven't seen many magic-using adults.
神なる力は芳醇なる糧、力失いしかの者に再び立ち上がる力を与え、ヒーリング。
Oh, he was just rattling it off real fast. Nice.
Yeah, no, I thought that's what he was doing.
It's actually like watching people who LARP like do this, because like they do the exact same thing. They just try to bang, bang, bang it out.
And burn the whole forest down, I bet.
帰る頃には夜になる可能性が高いわ。
エリスさんともあろうお方が怖いんですか?
This kid's real ability is pushing buttons.
What are you, McFly? Chicken?
It works though.
Oh, right up to the third movie.
Oh, this kid is definitely still gonna die though, right?
I'm just wondering why Richard isn't here.
I guess he's just busy in town. He saw the cheese and he's like, no, I'm gonna stop here.
You didn't tell me to do that.
Now what are you gonna do, kid? I feel like this is a lie from Eris. She's just trying to scare him. Like 20 feet in the woods.
ちょっと空を飛んで上から町の方向を確かめなさい。
そんなことできるわけないじゃないですか。
ルーデウスならできるわ。
Rudeus would also break his legs, if you recall.
私の先生よ。
はあ。エリスさん。
この森には別の冒険者がいるはずよ。
I will be super disappointed and or angry if she gets him killed, though. He might be like a smug shit, but he's still a kid at the end of the day.
Right, right. I think we gotta come out with like a big positive win for Eris here, right?
That'd be the typical way to handle an OVA.
Opening her senses.
見つけたわ。こっちよ。
何ですか？何か見つかったんですか？
Yes, I literally said it out loud.
気配を探ったのよ。
それも先生に習ったんですか？
そうよ。
すごいんですね。そのルーデウスって人は。
うん？そうね。ルーデウスはすごいわね。
At least we're getting this the episode after she says, I love you, rudeus.
Yeah.
To the air.
Alright, we got like a knight and a caster here.
エリスさん、あの鎧は神殿騎士団ですよ。
Okay, I thought it was a knight wearing a dress. And then it turns out there's just someone hiding right there.
I actually thought there was a second character who was a lot taller. The Pope, the true evil.
What if it's our Pope in this world? And he's the Pope of two worlds.
Oh, we got more blessed children. Okay. Now I see maybe what we could be introducing in the episode for the overall meta. I guess talk in the bush kind of does that, huh?
Also having bright red hair. And a white outfit.
Kill. Oh gosh. Oh no.
Did you forget this was a serious world, Griff?
I almost did for a second. I thought we were having fun.
Well, we are.
Fun murder, yeah. That guy is sacrificing himself at the end, trying to get the kill. Alright, that's just awesome. It really is.
Well, it was also threat because, you know, they're smeared with poison. Let me circle it around my wrist to get it again.
Yeah. God, that is asking for it, but so cool.
Older sister, then? Is that the thing?
I'm a bet on it, yeah.
So, future competition in high school? I'm assuming that Eris shows up at the high school at some point.
Oh my god, you're absolutely right. Oh, I didn't think about that. You're right. He's going to school.
私は神殿騎士団のテレーズ・ラトレイヤと申すものです。冒険者とお見受けしますが、名前を伺っても。私はエリ。デッドエンドのルイジェルド。こう見えてもスペルド族よ。スペルド。
I feel like you're just making another enemy for Richard. Not from her, but from the one who escapes. And is going to
Yeah.
investigate this later.
そういえば私迷ってたのよ。助けたお礼は帰り道を教えてくれればいいわ。それならこのテレーズが前例を持って帰り道を誘導させていただきましょう。では参りましょうか。
Okay, there we go. Happy face.
She's also
She was
got
so
special.
upset.
She's also got special eyes, kind of like Demon Girl does.
これは気にしないでください。
まあいいわ。行きましょう。
はい。
クリフ様、あなたがなぜ神殿騎士団と。
I said we knew he's associated with the
なぜ子供を狙った。
religion somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, it's all adding up a little
デッ
bit.
ドエンドのルイジェルトだ。デッドエンド。なぜお前があいつらの味方をする。あいつらは魔族排斥派だぞ。味方ではない。なら俺たちの方につけ。現教皇様は魔族との共存を望んでいらっしゃる。
It does feel like they're helping the bad side then.
Oh, there's... In like 1 minute, we got all the complexity we needed.
Because we're helping the bad guys who just happen to look innocent. Also, are innocent because they're kids.
気をつけて帰りなさい。
Except for maybe him. I don't know.
He seems a little bit, not a great person already.
エリスさん。結婚してください。
Pass.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out.
どうしてですか。この天才魔術師の休校を断るなんて。まさかルーデウスとか
Do
い
you
う先
think
生と。
He's the consort guy?
ルーデウスというのはどういう人なんですか。
From the last episode, or next to last episode?
Maybe we gotta go back and check the name on that one.
I don't know if they said any name.
そんな人いるわけないですよ。仮にいたとしても、僕ほど魔術を使いこなせるわけがない。
あんた以上に使えるわ。ルーデスは水星級魔術師なんだから。私より背は小さいけど、この間だって北西に一人で勝ったの。まあそれは聞いた話で見てたわけじゃないんだけど、でも絶対あっという間に倒したわね。
His whole world is shattering. This is where it begins.
だって一人や二人くらい。
Well, I mean, let's be fair here. Rudeus does have 3 girls in his retinue that he's, like, swirling around him. He could stand to lose one.
At least this behavior here is ordinary teenager behavior. So it's like, okay, I understand where he's coming from in all this.
I don't know. Remember, they're, like, just turned 15.
僕そろそろ帰りますね。
あ、そう。じゃあね。
And he kind of just pulled a Rem there.
ルイジェルド、あなたもどこか行ってたの？
Yeah, he's showing up later. There's no reason you would just have him leave scene.
さっきね、ゴブリンを倒しに行ったら森の中で女の子に会って。
I feel like Richard was on some secret mission here too. One more perspective. Let's see what we get. Right, all the cool shots. Death, yeah.
It didn't hurt his case that he looks almost slightly like Rudeus.
Yeah.
様の教鞭を取られていた先生方が先ほど倒れられたそうでございます。何でも流浪魔族の狂人にやられたとか。この件で大司教派と揉めるのは避けられそうにありませんね。
Well, he got all the bad news he could get in a single day, I guess.
Well, I mean...
あのね、聞いて。
Oh, and the beat-up face?
倒してきたら。
Or is this when your dad showed up and you're all sad now?
なんでもないよ。
そんなはずない。
Yeah, I think that was that one.
Yeah, I think that gives us the exact time period then.
But it also now exposes a... You've created an enemy for Rudeus he doesn't even know about. I like that. It was
That's
good.
it.
But also, it also exposes a whole new faction that we didn't know about either. Or informs us of the one that killed Grandpa that we don't know about.
Right. Or no, I don't think they're responsible for that from this episode. I don't think that's associated.
Well, we don't know what kind of government this is. If this is a oh god, my brain's not working. Theocracy. This is a theocracy. Then the whole Pope argument could lead to that sort of event.
Right, but it seems different than, the other forms of governments that we've seen already. They seem separate systems, right?
We don't know. We don't really get a lot of world building in the places that we left.
I'm going to be relying on you and your next state of thought segment. Put this all together for me in a nice package. But I'm going to be excited going to the next season, going, this guy is going to show up at the school and he's just going to cause fucking trouble for Rudeus. He's not going to say why.
Gonna reorganize the concept board by religion.
We're going to do it by battleship, by religion, and by bird. I think that's the way to do it.
Well, eye color would be the last one. Well, you remember there was a hair color. 86.
Oh, yeah.
There was the whole thing about 86. Pay attention to the hair color and their rank. It's like,
there we go. So
I don't even think we did in the episode that we read after that.
All right, then. So, no, I think it's a little intermediate episode just on the side. I think it was nice. Even it added in a whole bunch of extra things I'm going to be looking for now. It's setting up for stuff.
It's probably best that we watched it here with the knowledge that it took place somewhere in the past. Because I can't imagine watching this after the episode that it takes place during, and then trying to remember that kid for whenever he shows up later.
Right.
It is being closer to season 2, where I assume he might show up again. If he does show up again, means I don't have to like remember 8 episodes ago. I have to remember
Right,
0 episodes ago.
Things should be present as they're put into the narrative. Chekhov's gun should be up on the mantelpiece, not up in the attic, you know?
Well, I mean, Chekhov's gun shouldn't be. Did his family kick him out, or did the mafia kick him out 24 episodes ago? It should be. It should be a lot closer, so you at least still remember or see it, right? We never flash back to that moment, so I don't remember it as well.
All right then, Theta. So you got any final thoughts before we wrap it on up?
No, just that we're doing an episode 0 next before we go into the second season proper.
There we go. More setup. Let's do it. So, before we get to episode 0, that's where we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today, everybody. This has been Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?